The life of Isaac Newton, the man who changed the universe. Isaac Newton was born on December 25, 1642, Julian calendar, January 4th, 1643 in today's calendar, in the small village of Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, England. He was a premature baby, so tiny that no one expected him to survive. His father had died 3 months earlier, and when Newton was just 3, his mother remarried and left him with his grandparents. This early loneliness would deeply shape his quiet, introspective personality. Books, early life, and education. Newton showed little promise in his early school years. He was often distracted and not an outstanding student. But behind the quiet demeanor was a mind fascinated with how things worked. As a child, he built small mechanical devices, water clocks, sundials, even miniature windmills. At age 18, he entered Trinity College, Cambridge. There he studied mathematics, physics, and astronomy, though much of what was taught was still based on ancient philosophy. Newton preferred the works of Descartes, Galileo, and Kepler, reading them in secret. Then came the Great Plague of 1665. The university shut down, and Newton returned to his family farm. Over the next 2 years, he entered what he later called his annus mirabilis, his year of wonders. It was during this time, working alone and in isolation, that Newton made discoveries that would change science forever. Rocket the Year of Wonders, 1665 to 1667. During his time away from Cambridge, Newton developed calculus, a new kind of mathematics to describe change and motion independently of Leibniz. A theory of light and color, showing that white light was made of all the colors in the spectrum. The foundation for the law of universal gravitation, supposedly inspired by watching an apple fall. These were not minor ideas. Each one could have made a career. Together, they reshaped the entire framework of science. Balance scale, the laws of motion and gravity. In 1687, after years of refining his work, Newton published his masterpiece, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, or Principia for short. In it, he introduced the 3 laws of motion. A body in motion stays in motion unless acted on by a force. Force equals mass times acceleration, F equals ma. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Alongside these laws, he presented the law of universal gravitation, which stated that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force proportional to their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. With this, Newton explained the orbits of planets, the tides, the motion of comets, and more, things that had puzzled scientists for centuries. Telescope, other contributions. Newton wasn't only a physicist. His interests and contributions were wide-ranging. He built the first practical reflecting telescope, still a common design today. He studied optics, proving that light could be split into colors using a prism. He dabbled extensively in alchemy, attempting to uncover the secrets of matter. He wrote thousands of pages on religion and biblical prophecy. Though some of these interests, like alchemy, are no longer considered scientific, they reflected Newton's quest to understand the universe at every level. Classical building leadership and recognition. Newton returned to Cambridge and became the Lucasian Professor of Mathematics in 1669. Over time, his reputation grew. In 1703, he was elected president of the Royal Society, a position he held for the rest of his life. In 1705, Queen knighted him, Sir Isaac Newton, the first scientist ever honored in this way. He also served as warden and later master of the Royal Mint, where he reformed England's coinage and fought counterfeiters, brain personality, and rivalries. Newton was intensely private. He never married and had few close relationships. He was also fiercely protective of his work and often engaged in bitter academic disputes. His most famous rivalry was with Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, over who invented calculus. Though both likely developed the method independently, Newton and his supporters insisted he was first, leading to a scientific feud that lasted decades. Despite his intense intellect, Newton believed in God and the Bible deeply. Much of his writing was devoted to theology, and he spent years trying to decipher hidden codes in Scripture. Coffin final years and death. In his later years, Newton lived in London, respected, wealthy, and admired. Though he no longer made major discoveries, he remained the towering figure in European science. He died on March 20th, 1727, at the age of 84, and was buried in Westminster Abbey. Among the kings and queens of England, a rare honor for a scientist. Shooting star legacy. Isaac Newton's impact on science and human thought is immeasurable. He laid the foundation for classical physics, which would remain unchallenged for over 200 years. His laws and equations are still used today in everything from engineering to space travel. The unit of force in the metric system is named the Newton in his honor. His book Principia is considered one of the most important works in the history of science. Even Albert Einstein, whose own theories would eventually surpass Newton's, called him the greatest genius who ever lived. Brain conclusion. Isaac Newton was not just a scientist. He was a symbol of what the human mind can achieve through deep thought, curiosity, and relentless effort. From a lonely child in rural England to a global icon of science, Newton proved that the universe is not unknowable, it's understandable. And through his laws and his legacy, he gave us the tools to explore it.